بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. In the name of God, the merciful, the beneficent, all prayer and praise is due to the Prophet Muhammad and his holy household. Our second point is the age of accountability. The age of accountability is the age at which the individual becomes obligated or accountable for their actions. Meaning that the Muslim at that point is charged with all the duties and responsibilities of a grown individual or an adult. However, not an adult in the North American sense or in the Western sense, where in the government sense, an adult as in the sense that they have now the responsibilities of a grown Muslim, such as they must pray, they must fast, they must abstain from what is haram, they must refrain from anything that is makruh, and so on and so forth, or they should, I should say. Now, there is multiple differences here. The first being that it differs between males and females. Second is that it differs between the Gregorian calendar and the Hijri calendar. The difference, first of all, between the Gregorian calendar and the Hijri calendar, the Gregorian calendar is based upon the rotation of the earth around the sun. As for the Hijri calendar is based upon the rotation of the moon around the earth. So that equates to about 10 days every year. Let's read through. It says, for females, it is at the age of accountability is at the age of, or the completion of 9 lunar years. 9 lunar years is equivalent to 8 years, 8 months, and 20 days in the solar calendar and the Gregorian calendar. So when our sister reaches 8 years, 8 months, and 20 days, she is now accountable. And in males, it is at the age of 15, or the completion of 15 lunar years, which is equivalent to 14 years, 7 months, and 15 days in the solar calendar, in the Gregorian calendar. Now, there is 2 other conditions, or 2 other points. If the male reaches any of those 3 points first, then they become mukallaf, they become obligated or accountable. If these 2 factors, which are, if the male sees tough hair in the pubic area, that's the first. And the second is if the male sees ejaculate by any means. If one of those 3, so if they see ejaculate first, then they become accountable. Or if they see pubic hair in the rough hair in the pubic area, or if they reach 15 years of age. One of those, if they see whichever one comes first, they become accountable. Our third point is a mujtahid becomes eligible for following if he meets the following criteria, which are 7. Now that we spoke about the fact that we are either a mujtahid, an individual who takes precaution, or a muqallid, or an individual who mimics. And we said that the first 2, a mujtahid or an individual that takes precaution, are both too difficult to require a lot of study and knowledge, and most of us don't have the time to put in for that. So therefore, we're left with taqlid, or mimicking, which is what most of us fall under. Now, how do I know the mujtahid? How can I know if this individual is eligible to become a mujtahid? 7 conditions, or 7 points. First, that the individual must be mukallaf, they must be accountable. Second, the sanity, that the individual must be sane. The individual cannot be, or must be, of sound mind. They cannot be an individual who is insane. Third is that they must be a male. So a female can become a jurist, but she cannot become a jurist who is mimicked. You can only mimic a male jurist. Fourth is purity of birth, meaning that this individual must be born to parents of proper wedding, of a proper wedlock, and that they must not be born out of wedlock. So they must not be born out of sin. They must be born into a proper Islamic home, or not necessarily Islamic, but they must be born into a proper wedlock. Number 5 is belief that this individual must be a Shia Ithna Ashari, a 12er Shia, And that is rather clear. This is, we're talking about a jurist for the Shia, therefore he must be one of the Shia. Number 6 is adala, that this individual must be steadfast on the path of Islam and not wavering, and that he does not leave what is required of him and does not do what is forbidden upon them. And number 7 is thabat, which means that this individual must not be forgetful, especially when it comes to the methods used to derive the verdict that he has come to. So this individual, it's not that he can never forget, it's that this individual should not be constantly forgetting the methods that he uses to derive the rules that he has derived. Inshallah, that will be all for our lecture tonight. In our next episode, we will continue with the concept of taqlid. والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين.